I want to wish everyone a Shana Tova and just a happy and sweet new year on behalf of Cantor Friedman, Rabbi Heaps, Shira Brandhandler, Danny Glassman, Scott Levin, I see is here, the president of our congregation. We're so pleased to see everyone here this afternoon. I'm so glad that everybody was able to deal successfully with the technology to get you this far. And we have a greeting, and you've heard it, let me say it a couple of times, Shana Tova. Shana Tova means a good year, right? We wish each other a Shana Tova. We also wish each other a Shana Tova, that a Mituka, a sweet new year. And one of the other ways that we greet one another during this celebration of the beginning of the Jewish New Year is that we want to be written, we want to be in the book of life. We want to be written for a good year. We want to make sure that we're written for a year of blessing, of health, of strength for ourselves and our families and really our whole world. And so we say, Lishana. Can you repeat after me? I know everybody's muted, but if you repeat wherever you are, repeat after me. Lishana Tova Tikatevu. Great. I see lips moving. That's a good sign, right? And Cantor Friedman is going to lead us in a song that takes those three words, right? Lishana Tova Tikatevu, right? Maybe we'd be written for a year of blessing and health and of strength. And it has a very familiar melody. It's actually the theme of the High Holidays. So Cantor Friedman, if you will lead us.
Yes. So hopefully my helpers will help me out here in this. So ready? Here we go. Let's sing. Ready to sing? We're going to put that down. We're going to sing. Ready? Here we go. Leshana tova tikatevu. Leshana tova tikatevu. 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 Let's try it one more time. Leshana tova tikatevu. Leshana tova tikatevu. 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 You guys, that was so good. That was great.
I sing well.
There we go. So I am actually not using my own computer, so it's taking me a little time to get used to my wife Kathy's computer, and so it's I'm not quite as fast as I am on my own, which is okay because it also gives me time to think and to get ready. And the next prayer that we're going to do actually asks us, the person who is leading us in worship, and that's going to be Cantor Friedman in just a moment, that asks, are you guys all ready? As people have been coming in, we've still got people gathering. This is amazing and wonderful. Asking if we're ready to pray. And then we respond, yes, we're ready to pray, right? So it's, hey, are you guys ready? And we say, yes, we're ready to go on forward from here. And as I had some little time to think, I also saw that Dina Bowens is also on this Zoom with, I think she's with herself and with her son, Raiden. And I don't know if Randy's there too. I can't see everybody there, but we're just so glad Dina is helping us, is in charge of membership. And many of you have already met her. If you haven't, you should. She's terrific. And so we're going to continue with Baruch Hu. There she is. Hi, Dina. Where's Raiden? Sleeping. Okay. All right. So, there I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. That's great. That's great. So, Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach, blessed are you, Adonai, our God. And then we respond, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed, again to a special High Holy Day melody. Cantor, take it away.
Same melody as we did before. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach. Leolam Va'ed.
I told you I'm moving a little bit slowly. So we have a prayer, and it's actually not even a prayer like "Blessed are you, God," that we're used to saying, or "Please God," or "Thank you, God." This prayer is actually a sentence of what we believe. We believe that God is one, and that we have a relationship with God. And this prayer is called the Shema. Right? So in order to sing it, I want to make sure that everybody knows the word. So I'm going to say a word and you repeat it after me. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, which means one. Adonai is one. God is one. Cantor, if you'll lead us in.
We can do this with our listening. We're gonna listen with our ears. Ready? Here we go. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Can everybody do this? Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
I'm gonna put it in quick.
You will have to.
I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna be.
Everyone. So you haven't seen me yet. I'm Rabbi Rachel, and our next piece is a song that talks to us about God. And God can be really hard to imagine, especially because we can't ever see God. But there are so many other ways that we can experience what God does for us and what God does with us, that this song helps us to think of God in those ways. We call God our parent because God takes care of us and provides for us like a parent does. And we call God our ruler because God makes rules for us and God keeps us safe, like someone who is in charge of more than just one person, making sure that everyone works together well. And so when we say and sing Avinu Malkeinu, it gives us a little bit of a better way to think about what does God really do for us and what does God inspire us to do? Does God inspire us to take care of other people? Does God inspire us to do good things? Does God inspire us to work together? All of those things are things that God can do and also things that we can do because we become like God, especially when we're thinking about our actions on the high holidays. So Cantor Freeman is going to lead us in this very wonderful and amazing way to sing Avinu Malkeinu that's going to sound incredibly familiar to all of you.
Okay, let's sing. Ready? Ready to sing Avinu Malkeinu? Here we go. Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Ba'anenu,
I love telling stories. I love sharing stories. And one of my favorite stories was told to me by a phenomenal, fantastic, and awesome storyteller. Her name is Penina Schramm. And a long time ago, I first heard her tell this story. And though she didn't write the story, she told it in a way that I've always remembered it. And so I wanted to share this story. The story is about an apple tree. And apples are very important at the new year. You know this because you might have already had apples and honey to represent the sweetness that we hope is going to be for the new year. I saw a couple of hands go up. People have had apples and honey. Raise your hand if you've had apples and honey already. Yes, it's the best. Apples are delicious. Honey is delicious. You put them together and oh my goodness, you get something amazing, amazing, amazing. So this story is about an apple tree. And so I asked Rabbi Heaps if she would help me tell this story. And so she's going to help all of us right now in sharing this story of the apple tree. In a great oak forest where the trees grew tall and majestic, there was a little apple tree. It was the only apple tree in that forest, and so it stood alone. Winter came. As the snow fell to the forest floor, it covered the branches of the little apple tree. The forest was quiet and peaceful. One night, the little apple tree looked up at the sky and saw a wonderful sight. Between the branches of all the trees, the little apple tree saw the stars in the sky, which appeared to be hanging on the branches of the oak trees. Oh God, whispered the little apple tree, how lucky those oak trees are to have such beautiful stars hanging on their branches. I want more than anything in the world to have stars on my branches, just like the oak trees have. Then I would truly feel special. God looked down at the little apple tree and said gently, have patience, little apple tree. Time passed, the snows melted, and spring came to the land. Tiny white and pink apple blossoms appeared on the branches of the little apple tree. Birds came to rest on its branches. People walked by the little apple tree and admired its beautiful blossoms. All summer long, the apple tree continued to grow. Branches of the tree formed a canopy overhead as they filled with leaves and blossoms. But night after night, the little apple tree looked up at the sky with the millions and millions and millions and millions of stars and cried out, oh God, I want more than anything in the world to have stars in my tree and on my branches and in my leaves, just like those oak trees. And God looked down at the little apple tree and said, you already have gifts. Isn't it enough to have shade to offer people and fragrant blossoms and branches for birds to rest on so they can sing you their songs? The apple tree sighed and answered simply, dear God, I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but that is not special enough. I do appreciate how much pleasure I give to others, but what I really want more than anything in the world is to have stars, not blossoms on my branches. Then I would feel truly special. God smiled and answered, be patient, little apple tree. The seasons changed again. Soon the apple tree was filled with many beautiful apples. People walked in the forest, and whoever saw the apple tree would reach up and pick an apple and eat it. And still, when night came to the forest, the apple tree looked at the stars in the oak trees and called out, oh God, I want more than anything in the world to have stars on my branches. Then I would truly feel special. And God asked, but apple tree, isn't it enough that you now have such wonderful apples to offer people? Doesn't that satisfy you? Doesn't that give you enough pleasure and make you feel special? Without saying a word, the apple tree answered by shaking its branches from side to side. At that moment, God caused a wind to blow. The great oak trees began to sway, and the apple tree began to shake. From the top of the apple tree, an apple fell, and when it hit the ground, it split open. Look, commanded God, look inside yourself. What do you see? The little apple tree looked down and saw that right in the middle of the apple was a star. And the apple tree answered, "A star, I have a star." And God laughed a gentle laugh and added, "So you do have stars on your branches. They've been there all along. You just didn't know it." And so it is with us. The stars, that which shines so brightly is within each and every one of us. Amen. I hope that you enjoyed that story, and I want to thank Rabbi Heaps for all of her help in putting together the pictures, the animation that was a part of this story that we all just heard. And you saw I quickly changed my shirt and changed my from my office to my house in the magic of video. The apple tree is we know the apple tree from the Garden of Eden, right? From the story of creation, and we know that there was a tree that was a tree of knowledge, and it had apples on it. We know also there's a tree of life that was in the garden, and the tree of life and the tree of knowledge, they're both still in the garden, except the tree of life also is not just in the garden, it's actually with us. It is the Torah. We talk about the Torah as being a tree of life because within the Torah, within this scroll, are all the instructions of how to be the best kind of person we can be. And so Cantor Friedman is going to share with us some of the opening verses of the story of creation from our Torah, from the first book, from Genesis. And we'll hear just a little bit of how we imagine our world coming into existence. Cantor Friedman.
And then do the timer. Hit start.
Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'haaretz. Oh, you know what? I just made a big mistake, Rabbi. You know what that mistake was? You know what it was. Tell him what it was, Rabbi.
So there's always a blessing that we say.
I made two mistakes.
That was the only mistake that I saw.
It's a good thing that Yom Kippur is coming.
Yes, it is.
Coming.
Yes,
that
and the melody.
Yeah, exactly.
And the melody is just like we have different melodies for the Baruch Hu and the Shema and some of the other prayers that are part of our service. We actually have a different melody for chanting the Torah. And Dr. Litsky, are you there? I think Dr. Litsky is here. Can we put the spotlight on Dr. Litsky for a moment, Rabbi Heaps? There she is, because I have a question for Dr. Litsky. Dr. Litsky, why do pencils have erasers on them?
Exactly. Because all people at some time make mistakes, and it's okay. We have to forgive ourselves and forgive others. And there's always an eraser on a pencil to be able to scratch out that error and know that it's not terribly important. If you make a mistake, it's okay. And that's why.
Dr. Levin, it is such a good thing that I am not a surgeon because I make a lot of mistakes.
Thank you, Dr. Litsky. Shana Tova. And I think we are ready, Cantor. When are we going to go to number 2?
Yes. Do we want a Torah blesser? Do you want to say the blessing before, Rabbi?
So, Dr. Litsky, would you do the blessing before the Torah reading?
Yes, that would be lovely. All right, are we all ready? Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים, ויאמר אלוהים יהי אור ויהי אור, וירא אלוהים את האור כי טוב, ויבדל אלוהים בין האור ובין החושך, ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום לחושך קרא לילה, ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום אחד.
That was beautiful. Rabbi Heaps, if you'll leave that up there, I just want to translate what you heard chanted so beautifully by Cantor Friedman on the first day of creation. In the beginning of God's creating the heaven and the earth was empty. There was nothing there, and it was only darkness that hovered over everything that possibly could have been. And the Spirit of God was floating over the waters that were there. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God looked at the light and saw that it was good. And then God separates the light from the dark and calls the light day, and the dark God calls night. And there was evening and there was morning on the first day. Dr. Litsky?
And I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to a time when every child that is on this Zoom screen is going to be able to sing these Torah blessings. It won't be very long. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam, nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you so much, Dr. Litsky. Thank you, Cantor Friedman. And as we are thinking about apples, thinking about the garden, thinking about the new year and how sweet we want the new year to be, we have a song about apples and honey. What could be better than that? Apples and honey. And we have it in the English, and we're also going to sing it in the Hebrew.
Apples and honey for Rosh HaShanah. Apples and honey for Rosh HaShanah. A good new year, a sweet new year. A good new year, a sweet new year. Apples and honey for Rosh Hashanah. Tapuchim udvash leRosh Hashanah. Tapuchim udvash leRosh Hashanah. Shana tova umetukas. Shana tova umetukas. Tapuchim udvash leRosh Hashanah.
Now, you may remember at the very beginning of our service, I talked a little bit about the greeting Shana Tova, and we say Shana Tova Tika Tevu, right? That may you be written, may you be inscribed, may it be written about you, that you're going to have a good year. And well, we actually can do that writing. And on Rosh Hashanah, right, we have that opportunity to write, and on Yom Kippur, we have that chance to make sure that it gets sealed, right? That what we want for ourselves and our families and our community, think of what your most favorite wish would be for yourself, for your family, for the world, a world that is free of illness, free of trouble, and a world that's filled with kindness and goodness and health. And so on Rosh Hashanah, this is our prayer that we write these good things down. Just as Abigail is writing on her writing board right there. And so you're going to see the words, and Cantor is going to lead us through the Rosh Hashanah.
Why would he say so if they did it on Rosh Hashanah?
Rosh Hashanah, Tichatei Uvyom Som Kippur, Uvyom Som Kippur, Yechadei. Try it with us. Rosh Hashanah, Yichatei Uvyom Som Kippur, Uvyom Som Kippur,
And we continue now with a song that is all about what we're hoping to do right now. We're hoping to turn from mistakes after we've apologized and fixed anything that we might have broken, and we want to turn, right? We want to turn from the mistake now to something better, to a better decision, better words, better actions. So we try not to make the same mistake again. So we want to turn. So we have a song that talks about the turning that we want to do for the new year.
It's a familiar tune to Avinu Malkeinu, and we're turning and turning. Turning and turning and turning, each in their own way. Turning and turning and turning, each in their own way. Can we try it together? Turning and turning and turning, each in their own way. Turning and turning and turning, each in their own way.
On the
Let him
board.
write it.
So everybody, I want you to, in your loudest voice, even though you're muted, I want you on the count of shalosh, which is Hebrew for the number 3, right? So I'm going to go echad, shtayim, shalosh, 1, 2, 3. Then I want you in your loudest voice with yourself still muted, right, to tell me what is the special instrument, right? That special instrument that we hear only at the high holidays, right? It's really hard to play, and it makes a really, really loud, amazing sound. Okay, so here we go. Echad, shtayim, shalosh, shofar, right? Shofar, that's shofar. That's the musical instrument. You're absolutely right. That is what we do, right? We play the shofar, and we have a special song, and the cantor and I recorded this, and Rabbi Heaps is going to play it.
Shvarim. Teruah. I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. Tekiah Gedolah. I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, 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 happy New Year.
I am very out of breath from that last blast, that big tekiah at the very, very end. So I want to introduce someone who is the president of our congregation, Dr. Scott Levin, who wants to offer a New Year greeting to all of us. Good day, Dr. Levin.
Hi, I just had to unmute myself. It is so amazing to see these beautiful faces smiling and singing and dancing. I have to say I'm feeling a little jealous that my girls are now old enough that they're not here to dance and sing with me today. So seeing your faces do that is just so wonderful. Rabbi Heaps talked last night about the imagination and creativity that our children provide us. And so I just think that this highlights that important message that our children, the children on the service, the families are so, so valuable to our community. We value you so much, especially as you juggle for the parents, juggling your jobs, your families, school in a new environment, and still being such a meaningful part of our Temple Jeremiah family. We are so happy and proud to have each and every one of you. Lador Vador, from generation to generation, from strength to strength. This is where the strength of our congregation lies for today and the future. So I wish each and every one of you a happy and sweet and healthy and safe New Year. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova, thank you. Thank you. And speaking of children and speaking of youth, Shira Brandhandler is our Director of Youth and Family Engagement. And if you haven't met her yet, she's right there now on your screen. And Shira, you had an event that you wanted to tell everybody about.
Yes, hi everyone, Shana Tova. It is so good to see you all through the screen. In a few weeks, we have lots of fun youth events coming up. So first, if you are in 3rd or 4th or 5th grade, we are going to have a movie outside near our sukkah on October 3rd. So get excited for that. And on October 4th, we'll have a big fun family Sukkot festival. So you can look out for some more information for that and lots of other youth events coming up soon.
Thank you so much, Shira. We look forward to all of these fun activities that will be safe and available for everyone who wants to come. Thank you so much. And so we have words of blessing that I would like to share, and then we're going to close with Cantor leading us in Shana Tova. Bruchim hayinu b'voenu, bruchim niyeh b'tzeitenu. Blessed are we as we gather together to welcome this new year. May it be a year of health and happiness, joy and blessing. And to this, let us all say, Amen.
Leshana tova tikatevu. Leshana tova tikatevu. Tikatevu. Tikatevu.
Shana Tova, everyone. We hope to see you all during the next week, and certainly at Yom Kippur at the same time. You have the schedule. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Shana Tova.